Okay, that's a huge overstatement. Hello and welcome to My Tiny Bottles, the project where I'm exploring my grandmother's legacy of miniature liquor bottles, one tiny bottle at a time. I'm your host, Tammy Coxon. If it wasn't for bottle number 79, Monnet Cognac, there might not be a European Union. Okay, that's a huge overstatement. But one of the Monnets behind this bottle was Jean Monnet, who many people call one of the founding fathers of European integration, and who has credited the family cognac business as being an inspiration and a model. Monnet Cognac got its start in 1838 as the Société Propriétaire Vinicole de Cognac in France. This was a cooperative of over 400 wine growers and distillers headed by Pierre-Antoine de Salignac. They were seeking to compete against the three companies that were dominating international markets at the time. Two of those names will be familiar, Bottle 7 Martel and Bottle 19 Hennessy, with the third being Otard Dupuis. Jean-Gabriel Monnet was part of this partnership, and after a leadership clash in 1897, he took over running the cooperative. Salignac, meanwhile, left to establish his own cognac house. In 1901, Monnet gained a majority of the organization's shares and renamed it after himself, J.G. Monnet. In 1906, his son, Jean Monnet, decided not to go to university and instead headed to Canada to sell the family's cognac. He would later describe this time as key to learning the bargaining skills he used later in life. "I can wait a long time for the right moment," he once said. "And cognac, they're good at waiting. It is the only way to make good brandy." Canada itself also inspired him. "I discovered a new way of thinking. The initiative of each could be accepted as a contribution to the general prosperity." This philosophy would become a touchstone of his future efforts in Europe. The company thrived, and their cognac was exported around the world. In the 1920s, Monnet was second in the US market after only Hennessy. In 1927, artist Leonetti Cappiello created a beautiful and still famous advertising poster for the brand, featuring the slogan "Du soleil dans un verre," sunshine in a glass. In the 1950s, Monnet was the official cognac supplier to the royal family of Sweden and remained a top 10 cognac in the US. Then, in 1962, the family-owned company was sold to a German winery, an action partly taken to finance Jean Monnet's Action Committee for the United States of Europe. After that, it was passed around. In 1987, it landed in the hands of Bottle 15, Asbach Uralt, and then was sold to a former rival, Bottle number 19, Hennessy. Hennessy transferred it to its subsidiary Hein, and then sold off that whole operation to the maker of the famous Angostura bitters. After its sale by the Monnet family, the brand was mostly sold in Asia, Russia, and the Nordic countries. But after yet another sale in 2013, to whom is actually a bit vague, Monnet has started to make a comeback in other countries. In 2021, this included the US when Heavenly Spirits Inc. began importing it. On their website, they describe Monnet as a sunny cognac, just like that famous poster with its "Sunshine in a Glass" slogan, with strong floral and fruity notes. In fact, their Sunshine Collection bottling, positioned between VS and VSOP, is probably the best comparison to my bottle. My bottle is labeled with an unusual 4 stars. In the confusing world of cognac labeling, VS is equivalent to 3 stars, and VSOP is 5 stars, putting mine also somewhere in the middle. My bottle has "Made in France" in both English and French, so that means it's likely a Canadian bottle. In terms of dating it, it looks like Monnet produced a very similar looking 4-star for the American market between 1986 and 2004. The only difference seems to be that where mine is called Tradition, the American version is called Le Club. Chances are good it's the same thing and from the same time period, just with different names for marketing purposes. My hit rate on brandy tasting has been pretty high so far, so I'm looking forward to comparing this old ray of sunshine to its modern match. Heavenly Spirits is headquartered in my home state of Massachusetts, so if all goes well, the episode after this one might even be a tasting with them. If not, it'll be coming up soon. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. And if you want more rays of sunshine in your life, check out my Patreon, where I post bonus audio and video content, cocktail recipes, and more. You can also find me on social media as @MyTinyBottles, and of course on mytinybottles.com. Leave some likes and comments wherever you go. Cheers!